Welcome to my mini lecture series on professional sales. In this particular segment, we're going to compare and contrast B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer sales, and give you an overview of what to expect in each. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please like and subscribe. Check out more content that I post, as well as the website, go-to-marketguru.com for my professional software sales bootcamp course. Thanks so much, and bye for now.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into industries and sectors and paint two roads for developing a sales profession. You might have heard this already, but a big distinction that needs to be made is between B2C and B2B. B2C is business to consumer, B2B is business to business. This course will focus on business to business, but I just want to make the distinction clear. So business to consumer, as the name suggests, you're selling to consumers. B2B, you're selling to other businesses. And to give some examples of that, we can look at different industries. So in residential real estate, you go and you buy a home. That's a sale to an individual, a consumer. That's B2C. However, if you're a company buying an industrial facility, that's B2B. In consumer technology will be another example of B2C. Going to Best Buy or a Target and buying a tablet or an iPhone, that's B2C. A company spending millions of dollars on a software solution, B2B. In retail sales, going to the store and buying a pair of pants, B2C. A company buying materials so that they can produce that pair of pants, that's B2B. Individual insurance, corporate insurance. Buying a car versus buying a fleet of buses. There are many different industries and roles to choose from. A big distinction to make is B2C and B2B, and each offers a unique set of opportunities, trade-offs, and experiences in sales in general. But again, we're going to focus on the latter. So to kind of explain some of the key differences now between the two, not just from an industry level, but from a transaction level, let's dive into them. So for first and foremost, U.S. market size varies significantly. 2/3 of U.S. GDP, gross domestic product, the value of all goods and services traded every year in the U.S. economy is B2B. It's twice the size as business to consumer. I found that to be quite surprising, but that's the case. And as you can imagine, the reason for that is because the transaction values are so high. So in B2B, you're dealing with north of the thousands. So tens of thousands is kind of the smallest transaction you'd make. It goes into the millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions even. Whereas in B2C, it's low transaction value. Generally, whatever you would buy at the store, it probably goes into the thousands for your car as being one of the most expensive purchases. As a result of that, sales cycle lengths are much longer in B2B than they are in B2C. So we're talking months and years as opposed to days and weeks, because you have to nurture a relationship with the company. And that's where relationship types comes in. Because of those long sales cycles and because of the high transaction values, you develop an interpersonal relationship in B2B that's recurring. You're meeting with them every week or every month, as opposed to B2C, where it's transactional and it's very in and out. You go to the store, you buy something, you're good to go. And with that, purchase drivers are also different. So in business to business, it's much more logic-oriented. Companies are interested in project ROI or product ROI, so return on investment. Whereas when you're buying something, it's usually to satisfy a nascent need, an emotional desire, that kind of thing. Education requirements, I put here college plus. Compared to B2C, which is high school, working in a store at the local mall. But there are people who do very well in sales with no college education at all. And lastly, sales experience, I put here high. That said, what I mean by that is that you need to know your stuff in order to do very well, but you can enter the field with no sales experience at all, just like I did, and become killer at the profession. So now let's go and look at some graphs to see where most salespeople work at the moment and where the industry and sector is going. So right now, as far as the distribution is concerned, the majority of salespeople, and I should note this graph includes B2C and B2B, work in retail and consumer products. So again, just think your local mall. What do most salespeople do? They're selling clothing, they're working in a kiosk and so forth. But the second most popular place to work is technology, specifically software. And that's where the focus of this course is going to be, software technology sales. You can go through the rest if you want, but I just wanted to hone in on that point. It's a huge market. And secondly, if we look at the fastest growing markets by the projected percent change in selected occupational groups, healthcare is huge as the population becomes more elderly. But second to that is computer and mathematical, which implies and is a proxy for technology-related sales. So it's a very relevant field to get into. And all this information, by the way, comes from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.